Hey everyone, Felix from Nintendo Life here, and today we'll be taking a look at the very best Nintendo Switch games for kids. We'll have 20 plus games to talk about in all sorts of different genres that are all great entry points for the little ones. And this list was put together by me, Gavin, our editorial director, and the rest of the Nintendo Life staff. So without further ado, let's go! And we're starting off with Yoshi's Crafted World. This is the latest entry in the Yoshi game series, and if you don't know what it is, well, it's a platformer. They've totally nailed the crafted world aesthetic, from the enemies to the backgrounds, and you can even flip the levels around. There's also a 2-player mode available, so perfect if you want to play with your kid or 2 kids want to play together. It's a relatively simple and light-hearted adventure, so a perfect introduction to the platforming genre. Our minimum age recommendation for this one is 4 years old. And next up we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This is the game that made me buy a Nintendo Switch. Mario Kart is amazing for all ages. Here you can see me playing Mario Kart DS at the age of 4 years old, and boy did I have a blast. Did I win every race? No, but the awesome thing about Mario Kart is that the items make it more fun for everyone, because if you're far behind, you can easily catch up with a mushroom or a red shell. This is the best game in the series. Beautiful visuals, insanely fun gameplay, and so many racetracks to race around on. You can also play this game up to 4 people, so also a perfect game to play when your friends come over. If the game is a little too tricky for the little ones, you can turn on some settings so they auto accelerate and can't fall off the stage. Our minimum age recommendation for this one is 3 to 4 years old. If you want a good introduction to the Metroidvania genre, Disney Illusion Island is the game for you. Play as either Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, or Donald. It takes all the elements of what makes a Metroidvania great, but simplifies them so they are a bit easier to digest, for example for younger audiences. The animation, platforming, music are all really good, and you can play this game up to 4 people together. Our minimum age recommendation for this one is 4 to 5 years old. Next up, we have Kirby and the Forgotten Land. This was Kirby's first endeavor in the 3D realm, and boy did they just nail it. In this colorful 3D platformer, you play as Kirby, and if you don't know what's so special about Kirby, well, check this out. You can inhale your enemies and obtain their powers. Throw bombs, throw boomerangs, and you can also inhale more normal objects like a soda dispenser or a light bulb. All this just makes path for a really creative and fun adventure. You can play up to 2 people in this one person plays as Kirby, the other one is Bandana Waddle Dee, and there's content in spades, with loads of different worlds, challenge levels, and boss battles. This is also a quite forgiving game, especially if you turn on the optional Spring Breeze mode. Kirby has never felt better to control than in this entry, and it deserves all the praise it has gotten since it has released. Our minimum age recommendation for this one is 4 to 5 years old. And if you really like this Kirby game, well, you're in luck, because there's also 2D Kirby games that we recommend. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe and Kirby Star Allies. These are both side-on platformers with the cute Kirby aesthetic, and although we definitely prefer the first one of these two, both should definitely be on your radar if you enjoy Kirby. Maybe you've wanted a game where instead of capturing Pokemon, you take pictures of them. Well, in that case, New Pokemon Snap is just the game for you. It's an on-rails experience, meaning that you don't have to worry about if you're moving, you'll move by yourself, but what you have to worry about is taking the best pictures of these Pokemon. The better the pictures, the more points. It's honestly so adorable and cute to see how these Pokemon interact out in the world, either by themselves or with each other. And the Safari-style gameplay makes this perfect to play with your kids, so you can both sit there and spot out, hey, that Pokemon over there, try and get a picture of that. You know, that sort of stuff. Our minimum age recommendation for this one is 4 years old. It's time for Princess Peach Showtime! Instead of being the damsel in distress, Peach is finally taking the spotlight in literal form, because this game takes place at a theater. Each level is a different stage play where you'll be in different roles. You'll be a detective, you'll be a chef, you'll be a ninja. The gameplay is just really fun and very kid-friendly, so come along and free the theater from the grip of the evil Madame Grape in all sorts of different playstyles. Our minimum age recommendation for this one is 5 to 6 years old. Animal Crossing New Horizons is a game about taking it slow and enjoying the small moments. It follows the real-time clock, and the seasons, well, it's the same thing. You can decorate this island to your heart's content, craft all sorts of different things that you can either gift to the villagers who live on the island with you, or just place around the island or inside your own little home. Hours fly by when you play this game. There's a reason I have over 300 hours in it. There's just something so addicting, so satisfying about meticulously crafting the most cozy, relaxing island. The chill vibes of this one is immaculate, and the attention to detail in all the furniture, the sound design, yeah, this is the creme de la creme. Our minimum age recommendation for this one is 5 to 6 years old. And then we have Nintendo's answer to the shooter genre, Splatoon 3. In this game you don't fire bullets, but ink. In the main mode, Turf War, the goal is to ink as much of the stage as possible. A huge variety of weapons to choose from and different modes, like Salmon Run or a single-player adventure, you can get hundreds if not thousands of hours out of this game. Control-wise, well yes, there is a lot going on, but with the addition of gyro aiming and a training area, kids will be picking this up fast. So get ready to swim around like a squid and ink your opponents. Our minimum age recommendation for this one is 5 to 6 years old. So this next game is totally free. It's the racing football game, Rocket League. Two teams will be driving around trying to get the ball in the net. There's loads of different cars to choose from, and although they don't change much, depending if you have a really big car or a very long car will change how you hit the ball. It's quite easy to learn the controls of this game, but very, very hard to master. I myself have over 100 hours in this game, and I still have no idea what I'm doing. Still though, if you're not playing online all the time and just play against your friends, it is really fun when you both have no idea what you're getting yourself into. So yeah, the controls are quite hard to master, and getting used to the camera following the ball and not your car, well, it surely takes its time. But when you finally understand the basics, jumping up and hitting that ball past the defender cars, well, it's a treat you shouldn't miss. Our minimum age recommendation for this one is 7 to 8 years old. Super Mario Bros. Wonder is the newest entry in the Mario Bros. Series. And even though I grew up with New Super Mario Bros. For the DS, I wish I grew up with this one because my god, is it just fantastic. All the animations, level ideas, power-ups, it's all top-notch. One of the best, most creative 2D platformers I've ever played. There's loads of different characters that you can choose from, and some of the characters even make the game easier, like Nabbit that can't get hit by enemies. This game also introduces badges so you can customize your gaming experience even more, like having a hat so you can float longer, or making yourself invisible, although that might not help you that much. You can also play up to 4 people together in this one, but we recommend playing this one alone since the camera is quite zoomed in and it doesn't feel like this was made for multiplayer like New Super Mario Bros. For the Wii. But if you do want that experience, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe has you covered because that follows the formula of the Wii entry to a T. Our minimum age recommendation for these two games are 4 to 5 years old. And as a Dane, well, I'm quite happy to talk about this game. It's LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. So there's loads of different LEGO games on the Switch, and I'll give some recommendations after talking about this one, but the Skywalker Saga is what we believe to be the very best one. It runs surprisingly well on Switch, and all the witty LEGO humor that you know and love is all present here in the telling of the 9 Star Wars films. Throw in a split screen option and well, you've got the recipe for a great night with your kids. Our minimum age recommendation for this one is 5 to 6 years old, but now that we are talking about LEGO games, there's also 2 more that I want to highlight. It's LEGO DC Supervillains and LEGO Marvel Superheroes. Depending on which one you choose, either you get to play as the Marvel heroes, so Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, Wolverine, or as the DC villains, Joker, Harley Quinn, and many, many more. These games are as well perfect to play with your kid, and if the superhero angle isn't quite for your liking, there's also loads of other LEGO games available on the Nintendo Switch. And next up, we have Super Mario Party Jamboree, the perfect party game. Maybe your kid is having some friends over and they don't know what to play. Mario Party is the answer, and Super Mario Party Jamboree is the best of the bunch. Essentially, it's like a board game where you run around and try to buy a star, and after everyone has had their turn, it is time for a minigame where everyone battles for coins. It's super fun and charming, and some of the best evenings that I've had growing up was when I had my friends over to play Mario Party. Yes, there might be a lot of text for the little ones, and that's why our age recommendation is 6 to 7 years old, but the gameplay itself and the minigames are quite straightforward with explanations and practice time aplenty. Our minimum age recommendation for this one is 6 to 7 years old. And even though Super Mario Party Jamboree is the best one in our opinion, there is also 2 other Mario Parties that you can check out, Super Mario Party and Mario Party Superstars. Mario is what you'll be hearing a lot when playing Luigi's Mansion 3. Mario and friends have gone missing at this grand hotel, and it's up to you to rescue them by sucking up all the ghosts with your vacuum cleaner. Honestly, one of the most beautiful games on Switch. Each of the floors in this haunted hotel has loads of different themes, and it's just so well executed. You can also have a second person join in as Gooigi, but do keep in mind that it takes around 30 to 45 minutes to unlock that feature. The best Luigi's Mansion to date. Our minimum age recommendation for this one is 7 years old. And if you finish this one and are still hungry for more Luigi's Mansion, well, you're in luck, because the second game has gotten an HD port and is well worth checking out as well. Oh, next up we have Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. It's just like 2D Mario, but in 3D. Loads of creative levels that you can play up to 4 people together. And not only that, we also have an entirely different mode called Bowser's Fury bundled together with this one. This is more open worldy instead of the 3D platforming levels found in the base game. And it has a very scary looking Bowser, so I would recommend starting off with the main campaign and then if they dare move on to the other mode. Jump around as a cat, multiply yourself with a cherry, and get ready for one of the finest adventures on the Switch. Due to some of the later levels being quite challenging, our minimum age recommendation for this one is 6 to 7 years old. One of the most popular games of all time, Minecraft. Your imagination is what sets the limit of this game. Build anything you could imagine in blocks, either in creative where you can turn off monsters and just build to your content, fly around, or in survival where you have to look out for your health and build a shelter for when the night comes. There's a reason why this is the best-selling video game of all time. It can be fun to play alone, but also to start a world together with other people. They've kept this game updated for many years, so if you've not played it for a while, chances are there's loads of new stuff awaiting you for next time you boot up this game. So if your kid already has a Switch and somehow doesn't have Minecraft, well, what are you waiting for? This is a phenomenal game that sparks creativity and gets you that sense of adventure. Our minimum age recommendation for this one is 6 years old. If you do want a fighting game though, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is where it's at. Yes, the skill ceiling is very high, but understanding the basics of the game is quite simple. You have a normal attack, you have a special attack, you can jump, that's basically all you need to know to get started. 80 plus characters if you count the DLC from all sorts of gaming franchises. This is a celebration of video games. And better yet, you can play up to 8 people on the same console. There's also a lot of customization, so if one player is better than the others, you can give them a handicap, and you can customize the rule set to your liking. Sure, most people like to play one-on-one with no items, but it can be really fun to turn it all on and just let the chaos commence. Our minimum age recommendation for this one is 8 years old. New Super Lucky's Tale is one of those games that just puts a smile to your face. If you want the perfect introductory 3D platformer, this is where you should look at. You play as the fox, Lucky, and in these levels you'll be trying to collect clovers. It's just super charming, the controls are tight, so do you think you have what it takes to protect the Book of Ages? Well, no better way to find out than to play the game. Our minimum age recommendation for this one is 5 years old. If you want to go fast, what better game to pick up than Sonic X Shadow Generations? This is handled kinda like Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, bringing an old game to a newer console and adding a new side mode, which is really good. The main mode of this game is as follows: Classic and Modern Sonic team up. As Classic Sonic, you'll be playing 2D stages and Modern Sonic 3D ones. And if that wasn't enough, the Shadow Generations pod is some of the best we've seen from 3D Sonic to date. Our minimum age recommendation for this one is 6 to 7 years old. There is also tons of other Sonic games available on Switch, but if you need a good entry point, we would definitely recommend this one. If you want your youngins to get into Pokemon, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee is probably the best place to start. It's a remake of the first Game Boy games that got released, and in this one they combined the mainline elements of Pokemon, but also sprinkled some Pokemon Go in there, because when you have to capture Pokemon, you have to swing your Switch remote. And not only will this be a great entry point for your kids to play, if you've played the originals back in the days, you're sure to feel a lot of nostalgia watching these scenes now brought into their HD form. Our minimum age recommendation for this one is 5 years old. And if you got your kids hooked on Pokemon, there's also Generation 8 and Generation 9 Pokemon Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet available on Switch that you can also check out. In Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, you play as Captain Toad, and the unique thing about him is that, well, he can't jump because of his big backpack. So you're going to be solving all these puzzle levels without doing one of the most basic things in gaming. You'll be turning the camera around to see all the different nooks and crannies these levels have to offer, because there's a lot of secrets and collectibles for you to collect. You can also team up with a second player in co-op, and that is an excellent choice if you want to help guide your kids through some of these levels. It might not be the most action-oriented game, but it is still a really fun, polished experience, and if your kid is into puzzles, well, this one is hard to beat. Oh, it's time for my favorite game on this list. It's Super Mario Odyssey. Fun for all ages, take Mario and Cappy out on a great adventure. Bowser is the big baddie, but you'll be fighting against all sorts of weird enemies, exploring fascinating areas like a frozen desert, New Donk City, which is essentially New York but in Mario, and a Hat Kingdom right out of a Tim Burton's movie. The unique twist of this Mario game is that with your trusty companion Cappy, which is your hat, you can take control over the enemies. Become the Goomba, the Bullet Bill, and all the weird new wacky enemies that you'll encounter. Our minimum age recommendation for this one is 5 to 6 years old. And finally, a game that everyone has probably heard of, it's Fortnite. This is a free-to-play battle royale where 100 players fight it out till there's only one player standing. It's been around for many years and has received updates left and right. It has loads of different modes too, and multiple games included in Fortnite, which are different entities like Rocket Racing, Fortnite Festival, and Lego Fortnite. These offer up quite different experiences, and it's all included for free, so there's really no harm in checking it all out, and if you don't like it, well, you can just delete it off your Nintendo Switch. Now, with there being guns and all, and some of the mechanics being a bit more complicated, our minimum age recommendation for this one is 9 to 10 years old. And there you have it. Those were, in our opinion, the very best Nintendo Switch games for kids. Were there any that we missed? Well, let us know down in the comments below. Don't forget to check out our website nintendolove.com, where you can find lists like these but in written form. And also, if you enjoyed this video, why don't you give that subscribe button a little click. Stay safe, play some video games with your kids, and we'll see you in the next one. Felix from Nintendo Live, out.